The one that stuck out in my mind was a brother who had kind of a electric blue kind of suit on. And I noticed it and I kind of remember it because I remember saying that I wanted to get a suit like that. So yeah, I remember talking to the brother. I remember seeing him there.
Do you remember anything about what you talked about, or what general maybe what you would have talked about?
Well, I was still doing security, so our conversation wasn't long at all. It was, we give each other the greeting, Assalamu alaikum, brother, good to see you. How you doing out here, soldier? That kind of thing. And he was like, oh, what you doing here? I was like, yeah, I'm doing security on the event tonight. He was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll see you out here with the papers, those kind of conversations. And then after that, he went on about his and I went on about mine.
And that guy was handing out papers?
Yes, sir.
So here's what's interesting is Eugene Deal, who was Puffy's bodyguard that night, he says they're out, the vehicles have been brought around, they're getting ready to leave, and Puff and Big are hanging out, talking to fans, taking pictures, whatever. And Deal says he's standing near Puffy's Suburban, and he said a guy in a blue suit approached him, Nation of Islam guy, approached the vehicle, and he said he had a white handkerchief in his hand. And Deal, for whatever reason, was concerned about this guy, and like he was getting too close. And he says he kind of pulled his shirt up and revealed, hey, I got a gun, and the guy like backed off.
Okay, now I can say that if a person is with the Nation of Islam, like I say, we don't carry weapons. So him having a handkerchief in his hand is, I don't know why he would have it there. It may have been the one that he may have had in his lapel or for whatever reason. But, him getting close is more or less trying to either sell a newspaper or get a donation from the people, because protocols, even on a regular day when we sell papers, we're out in traffic and we approach people that are in their cars, maybe at a stoplight. So there's no threat to it, especially if he had a paper in his hand. Now, I don't know that particular incident, if he did or not, but that's how we do. We would approach people, in their cars, and they would know who we are simply because of the way that we're dressed. So, if he did approach him and he didn't want him close, he really didn't even have to show the gun. All he would have had to do is be like, okay, not, and the brother would have backed off. But, that's as far as that would go.
And just for the purposes of this video, I'm not saying that for sure. I don't know who Eugene Deal saw. And I'm not saying for sure that it was the same guy in the blue suit that you saw. I just think they make it sound like he's the only guy.
Oh, yeah, no.
Which is not true.
No, not at all. I mean, there was nothing particularly, that stood out about him. I guess he was probably about maybe 6 feet, brown skin, like say clean shaven, clean cut. I can't remember if he had a mustache or not. I can't remember that. But yeah, there was nothing too distinguishable about him for me to be able to tell you, like he had a scar on his left cheek or anything like that. Like a fade. I believe he had waves and, because that's another protocol of the nation is to be clean cut, keep your hair cut at all times, clean and neat.
There was this hotel nearby on La Cienega called the Nico. And the Nico would hire security people like you for celebrities and VIPs that would stay there. Right. And did you know anything about that?
I know about it. I didn't do any particular celebrity details that night, but I had done some of that in the past. So, yeah.
You mentioned a guy named Ishmael earlier.
Yes.
So Ishmael was someone who would be hired by the Nico.
Yeah.
For security people.
Yeah.
He claimed that he worked for the Nation of Islam Security Agency, Inc.
Right.
What is that?
That's the name of the security portion of the Nation of Islam. We had a security company, and that was the name of it.
Interesting, because it's very possible, because I think you may have said back then, and of course it's been so many years, that you said that the guy that you talked to, the two guys, one in the blue suit and his friend, they had worked security the night before at the Soul Train for Nico, the Nico.
Right.
So they say they had done so far.
Yeah, they were doing security on the Soul Train Award and at the hotel that a lot of celebrities were staying at, the Nico.
At the Nico.
And this is right in front of the doors.
Right.
They pulled the Suburbans right up.
Right.
There, right. There's the steps, and then there they are, right at the curb there.
Yeah.
In the garage.
I remember that because I was standing at, because like you say, they're right in front of the door, and there's steps you have to go up to get to the front door. I was standing at the top of the steps when I see the brother over here with the newspapers, and I'm like, Assalamu alaikum. He give me the green, Assalamu alaikum, brother, how you doing? Yeah. You know, I see you out here with the papers, and he goes on back on about his business with the papers. So, you know, that's a typical thing, especially at an event that's that big with all those celebrities. That's normal. You know, those are more or less big nights for us as far as being able to get donations and get the paper sold to the people. And, you know, because sometimes they don't even want the paper. They, like I say, you have supporters of the nation that'll be like, nah, I don't want the paper, but here's a little something, here's 10, 20, 50, we've got $100 bills, and, you know, depends. But yeah, that's a typical thing, especially at that time. That's a typical thing. Yeah, Shaheed was there.